Before we jump into today's Market Monday, Emmanuel and I want to remind you that my name is Jorge de Jesus. I'm with Century 21 Western Realty in Katy, Texas, part of the Matt Freeman team. And if you ever need any assistance in buying, selling, renting, or leasing a home, we're here to help. Now, let's jump right into it. So for Market Mondays, if this is your first one, I'm just going to give you a brief overview of what's happened the last 7 days in the Katy area. Let's take a look at what rentals have done in the last week. So we're going to start here. Now, this might seem a little fancy, but you have access to this too. You go to har.com. Your screen is not going to look like this, but it's going to be very, very close. It's a great resource. It feeds directly into what us as agents have access to. Maybe not all the information, but a great majority. So if we look at rentals for the Katy market, and if you're new to the channel, you're going to have to pop over to a video about the different sides of Katy. But you're seeing this Interstate 10, you're seeing 99 or the Grand Parkway. It's kind of like a cross, right? So you have 77449, 77493, 77494, and 77450. Those are the 4 zip codes largely that cover the Katy area. There are a few others that share borders with Houston, Cypress, and so on. But largely when you hear me talk about the Katy area, I'm talking about all 4 of those. If you go on Google Maps and type in Katy, Texas, it'll show you just this area here, which is where downtown Katy is. Anyways, so we saw about 73 rentals that were leased last week. Now, how does that help us in any way? Well, what I like to do is go in here, and the majority of the rentals, and being a real estate agent in the Katy area, I work a lot with rentals. The majority of the rentals are typically about the same size. Obviously, everybody's looking for something different, but if you look at some of these results, you're going to see that in the median, in the majority, in the middle, they're at about the same. 3 bedroom, 2 bath, 4 bedroom, 2 bath, but majority are going to be 3 bedroom, 2 bath, and then or 4 bedroom, 2 bath. So we'll stick with about 3 bedroom, 2 bath, and then about the 1,500 to 1,900 square foot. Now, why is that important? Because I want to show you. If we go back here, we go 3 to 4 bedroom with 2 bath, and then we go 1,550 to about 1,900. What we want to see is there's results on all 4 sides, correct? Okay. Now, again, this is going to vary, but this is what people are mostly looking for. What you have is the data of the different pricing of each side. So, for example, 4 bedroom, 2 bath on this side, about $2,000. If you go a little further in to this side, which is typically where your prices are going to be higher, a 3 bedroom, 2 bath, it's about $2,100. And again, this is very broad, very general. But what I want to give you is a basic idea of the differences in all these areas, right? And what's been going on. Now, it used to be less often you would see the prices be so close. There used to be a wider gap between the prices, but what we're starting to see is because there's so much demand for people that are wanting to come into the Katy, Texas market, not just from Houston, but from all over the country, they're having a tough time buying a home. or for whatever reason they come with the aspirations of buying a home and end up renting a home. Either way, they end up renting a home. So then what's happening is the demand for homes to buy, homes to purchase is going up, but there's not enough for everyone. So a lot of people end up renting for a while. So then, because then the demand for these rentals goes up, then the prices go up too. So you're starting to see 1650 on the lower end, and typically on this side you'll see the 77449 area. You'll see the lower rental prices. These two will be somewhere in the middle. It just depends on which neighborhood. It really depends. But it also depends on what the house looks like. I think the per square foot, the highest rental comes from, and whether you're renting it or you're looking to buy an investment property, it doesn't matter. You need to know that the highest per square foot income or highest per square foot that you're going to pay as a tenant is going to be whatever. Yeah. The biggest, if you find a very large 3-bedroom, 2-bath, those are usually for investors, the ones that produce the most income, and for tenants, the ones that you're going to pay the most for. But let's move on away from rentals for just a bit. Okay, so now let's take a look at, let me just make sure I have everything here. Okay, good. So let's take a look at what each of these zip codes, these Katy zip codes, because they have different trends. In a general sense, they have the same trends, but you can take a closer look at pricing, for example, is different. Days on market, slightly different, but that's going to be one of those big trends that is about the same on all four. So since October up until now, what we're seeing is it was starting to take longer for homes to sell. This is how many days the home stayed on the market before it found the right buyer. And then the prices spiked, dipped down, and then now they're spiking again. So this is specifically to the 77449 area, which is typically the least expensive side of the Katy area. So let's take a look at that, but let's take a look at the other 4 zip codes. And I should mention that prices are going up and days on market are going down, so it's taking less time to sell homes at a higher price, and this is due to a couple of things. So things kind of slowed down during winter a little bit, right? It's taking a little longer and prices are kind of stable. So this was a great time to be a buyer and amidst all this craziness. But now with spring and summer coming, things are going to start going the other way. So let's check out 77494 is the other popular zip code. I'm not going to want to waste your time with all of them, but just so that you get a sense of what's going on. So here what we're seeing is slightly different, right? So here what you're seeing is that these prices are going up on this side of Katy, and they're going to continue to go up. Like I mentioned before, this is on average your more expensive per square foot side, but you're also getting larger homes, less commercial space, right? So a lot of folks love that too. I mean, the schools are great. The schools are great all throughout. But if you look at some of my videos on schools, this is where the higher ranked schools are going to be. So if you're looking at, and then 350 is on the lower end. Again, this is average, so it goes up and down. But let me make sure. Yeah, 491. Let me change this to average sold price. That gives you a better idea. Okay, so this is makes more sense. So what you're seeing is prices are kind of stable and days on market are a little bit on the rise. What's going on is two things. One, a little bit of new construction, not a whole lot. A little bit of new construction. That's those prices are increasing, right? So that's bringing a lot of buyers back to the secondary market. So where you're seeing resale homes are getting more popular in that area, and new construction is kind of leveling off. I'll show you in just a second where the new most of the new construction is and what the prices are on that. But so what you're seeing is homes are staying on the market a little bit longer. Now, if you were to look closely here, see peak prices were during the winter months. So it's kind of like the inverse of the other side. So what does that tell you? I don't know. So here's the thing. Uh, this area specifically. Oh, okay. There you go. It's okay. So this area specifically, you're seeing a lot of volatility when it comes to pricing. So it's tough to really pinpoint what's going on there. You can look at it on a neighborhood by neighborhood basis, and that gives you a better idea, but we won't be doing that here. What I would suggest, if you are looking in this area of town, grab a realtor that knows the area well and have them explain to you what's going on, because it's just tough to say with just some numbers and some lines, right? Other sides make a little more sense. You can get a clear idea. And then let's finish off with, I know, but you can go back. That's fine. You want to go back? There you go. Got your calculator? There you go. Let's take a look at where a lot of the new construction activity is happening, which is 77493. So it's where the downtown Katy area is. But if you go north of downtown Katy, so you have a lot of new construction, because that up until not too long ago was rice fields, was just ranches, just acreage, right? And then these things are being sold off and developments are coming up. So people go to that previous zip code I just showed you and end up here because they don't want to fight these crazy fights of bidding and prices and all that. And they say, okay, well, let's just get a new construction home here. And new construction is priced into this. So the pricing is pretty steady. Yes, it's been increasing. A lot of new construction developments are increasing prices almost on a monthly basis now. And I've mentioned that on previous videos as well. But days on market are taking a nosedive because of the shift in season. First of all, I have more buyer clients now than I did 2 months ago. And a lot of this inventory. So let me explain something real quick. A lot of the new construction inventory is only being released 4 or 5 houses at a time per builder per community, right? Some will say we'll just release a whole section, but that's chaos, right? Because it will all be inventory, and then they have to handle all those sales, and that's fine. That's fine. Those prices are locked in, but because of logistics issues, because of the price of the materials, and because of other uncertainties, they're only releasing a few homes at a time because they can't guarantee the cost of materials, especially if the homes are not 100% completed. So prices are going to continue to rise, maybe not as much as they did a few weeks ago, where every builder raised $20,000-$30,000 per house. But you are going to see a rise as opposed to a decline. And then in this area also, you have big, beautiful, older homes in like wooded areas and things like that. So it's if you're not into the new construction, this is still a great area for you to check out. Kind of like like Americana type, uh, walk everywhere type of feel to a community. Uh, I think we're gonna close it off there. We did want to give you one small tip for today. So Emmanuel and I have a tip for you today, and this is specifically if you are renting. So there's the cliche way of saying, hey, you should buy instead of continuing to rent. Your money's going to go to somebody else, all that good stuff. I get it. And you get it too. You understand that. That's not the frustrating part. The frustrating part is basically getting started. But here's a little motivation to help you figure it out faster. Not only are you putting more money in somebody else's pocket, and you're usually, and the national average is about $8,000, you're usually saving less than you would as a homeowner. And it's because you are paying somebody else's mortgage. Let me explain. There's this concept of equity. So equity is after taxes, insurance, and everything else that goes into a mortgage payment, usually, uh, you're paying down a principal on the home, and that's the core price that you contracted for, correct? So not only are you paying that down, meaning that let's say 50% of your mortgage payments, it could be more, it could be less, is going to paying that down. You later on will have access to that equity. Equity in total is going to be the total the total principal pay down versus how much your house is either appraised for or sells for. So I'll give you an example. Let's say you buy a $300,000 home today. You sell it in 15 years from now. Let's say you've paid it down at least $100,000. Congratulations. So let's say in 15 years you sold it for 360. So now you're tapping into $160,000 of equity, which is the difference between what you sold and how much you have left, how much you have into the home after you pay off your mortgage balance. So think not of buying a home as something that you have to do because it just makes more sense than renting. No, think of it as living in your piggy bank. Think of it as saving for the future, for the children, for whatever it is that motivates you. But think of real estate as your piggy bank. So I hope this has been helpful for you today. Emmanuel and I are going to be signing off right now. He's ready for a nap. I'm ready for lunch. And we'll catch you on the next one.